Good afternoon and welcome to today's Membership Matters. I'm absolutely delighted to bring you Membership Matters once again. This is something that a lot of you who know me or don't know me, when I joined the CCMA in October last year, we were talking about, from my previous experience, is how I used to tap into the membership from being a member for a number of years. In my old role where I used to lead contact centres myself, and I felt that there was an opportunity for us to really talk and shout out about the great work that we do as part of the CCMA to support the contact centre industry. So we've made it our mission to bring it to you again and to share and talk about all the great things and to build awareness of what being a CCMA member means for our members. So we are here, and ultimately our goal is to support the contact centre industry. And we do that in various forms, whether that be by benchmarking, best practice visits, connect events, the annual conference, research, awards where we're celebrating success, because let's face it, we're always moving on to the next thing, to fix the next thing. So celebrating the awards is a great way of recognising our people and the great achievements that your organisations have achieved supporting customers and the industry. We have special interest groups, good practice guides and research, plus much, much more. So we want to bring it to you to really talk about what we do, and an opportunity that if you're not a member or you are a member, to be able to ask questions. So please use the chat. Post your questions into the chat and we will happily answer those questions for you. Today I am delighted to bring one of our members to join me on stage. Sabina, who is from London Borough of Barking and Dagenham Council. It's a bit of a mouthful, but she's here to join me today on stage. Sabina, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So for the viewers, we had a little bit of a technical challenge before, a little bit of internet connection prior to going live. So I'm absolutely delighted that we've managed to overcome that, and Sabina's managed to join us. So Sabina's been a member of the CCMA for a number of years in different roles. And I thought, from hearing her story, and we talk very regularly about how she's tapping into the community and how she uses different benefits to support herself and her team. So I thought it'd be great for her to share her story with the wider audience. So Sabina, thank you so much for joining me today. I know that it's really, you know, an ask of your time, because I know you've got so much going on at the moment. So I really appreciate you coming in and joining me on stage today. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. So let me ask you a few questions. Let me find out, and so you can share, because I know we talk about it quite a lot, but how long have you actually been part of the CCMA community from the different roles that you've held?
So I've been part of CCMA community since April of 2019. But before then, when I was at a different organization, we were part of CCMA as well. But that, for me, I was part of it in my role capacity of a quality manager at the time. And then when we've joined in April 2019, when I've moved organizations, I've now joined as heading a customer services department.
Wow. So a number of years. So you've really got the experience then, and how the communities have evolved. And so what were the benefits that you think has been over the years and up until now? What do you find you use the most?
So I think the benefit over the years is the amount of information that you gather as an organization, and for us as managers, you know, directors, heads of service, being able to tap into that information, because there's a lot out there. But having an organization that captures it all in one place is one of the best benefits for us to be able to tap in and just get that information firsthand, and just know straight away that this is, you know, up to date, this is valid, and we can rely on the information that you get for us. So it's definitely been very beneficial.
I love it. I love that, and it's great from our perspective to know that we're hitting the mark, and that it's adding value. And I suppose which managers and which roles within your team really get the most out of tapping into the community?
So my director has started to tap into it, because when I told her about it, she was like, "Oh, okay, we're members, so it's free. Join the webinar." So she taps into it. My performance coaches who do our quality monitoring and coaching for side by side, and then my team managers as well. So they would look at what's happening on the website. Join a webinar, or join even a best practice visit as well, and they get information in there. And my quality and training officer as well benefits from the information that is supplied to us.
Wow, that's more than actually what I thought. when you hear about it, I think because you see the different events, and whether they are online or whether they in a live environment, it's great because you'll see some of the team, but actually understanding the roles that they play within your organisation, it's great that that they're able to dedicate that time and get something out of it. And
Yes.
how have you seen that? Have you seen that value and that benefit support you in your personal experience?
So yes, I have. I think for me personally, developing my confidence, as a person, as a manager, and knowing that, the information I'm sharing with my directors, even counselors, I can say, look, this is from a valid source. And then I can back my, business case, or I can back, whatever presentation I'm going to them to say, look, I need X, or I need to even review my matrix. So one of the best practice visits we did at KLM, which was, are you measuring the right matrix?
Mm-hmm.
I was able to take that back, apply it to my department, and then present my business case to say, you know what, we need to turn everything upside down and start from scratch. Out of post-COVID, looking at what we're measuring, it's not actually getting the benefit that we need. Let's look more to the quality of the information and make sure we get it right, because then that helps us to reduce repeat calls.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact that it gave you an idea to go and back and say, we need to change something, because sometimes that something doesn't feel right. And but you just kind of do need that back in, or some kind of evidence or research or statistics or best practice to be able to demonstrate that, to say, look, we're not alone. There's other organisations that have been through that journey or going on that journey. And what I'm saying here is I've got substance to back up what I'm saying. So that's great. So it must help with your, like you say, your own confidence to be able to have those conversations within your higher leadership team to be able to articulate changes needed.
Yes, exactly. Because, not everyone is from a contact center background.
Yeah.
Not everyone understands the data, how we dive into it. So, being able to say, look, we're a member of, an association that is not just about, local government. You've got a plethora of members from finance, from, airline industries, from supermarkets, wine, you name it, you've got it.
Yeah.
So it's not just us as an industry or as a council that are going through this. We're all going through it at the same time, and it's from the length and breadth of the UK. So we know what we're talking about when we say we need to review or we need to change something.
Yeah. And that's great to hear from our side, to know that actually that you are getting the value and connecting in from different industries, because you're right. When we support financial services, general insurance, to hospitality, retail, and the list goes on, it's great that there are some common themes that will impact across industries. And sometimes sticking in with your own industry won't necessarily give you the answer, because sometimes we need to think a little bit differently to break the mold and spice things up a little bit to actually to prepare ourselves for the future, because that's really difficult, right? It's got to prepare for the future.
Yeah, it is. And I think another advantage is, or benefit is, when we have the sessions with each other and other organizations, you've got organizations coming to you as well. So I've had a few where members have contacted you to say, oh, can you connect us with myself? And some of them are not from our industry. I've had a lovely lady who was from the building construction, company. I was thinking, actually, we're local government. Are you sure I can help you? But when we started the conversation, it was a case of.
Oh, I think we've lost you, Sabina. You're reconnecting. You're back again.
Yeah, sorry, the Wi-Fi is really crazy at the moment. But no, as I was saying, no, it was that common thread to see that, we are all going through the same thing and we can learn from each other.
Absolutely. And I think that there's lots of different events that we will, I think, what was the one, the Connect event that we were both at, and there was so many broad industries all in that room, and we were talking about resilience. And I think there was a scenario which you talked around about how it's impacting your people, how your leaders are impacted by the types of interactions which they are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. There were so many people across the membership around that room that came to us, and that was a full room. we were bursting at the seams. And it was a great conversation. But we were all talking about actually resilience and how everybody's preparing their people to be more resilient in the current climate. And I think because the kind of situations and the interactions that your people are dealing with, really it shook some of the audience. I hope you don't mind me saying it shook other people around that audience where they were affected, and they thought, wow, we sometimes get so used to hearing what our own interactions are about and get really into the detail. But actually, when you think about what other businesses are dealing with and how those people are affected, it was really great to see people around the room to think and sit back and reflect and think, actually, how can we do things differently, and to think outside of that box. That was
and I think it's really important, that the benefit of it is that, for us to create that safe space to say, what, come in, offload, yes, we're all, in competition with one another, but come in, offload, let's support you, know that you're not on your own, and then take something back. There was a lady again who met me at the conference. I didn't know. She said, oh, I was on one of the sessions that you were speaking, and what you said really motivated me, and I went back to the office and I did something and it worked out right. So, it has really helped her. So, you don't really know the impact when we're having these sessions on each other, but because it's a safe space to say, look, I'm struggling, or, what can we do? What are you doing? And you don't feel as though someone's going to steal your customers or someone's going to steal an idea. It's not about stealing ideas. It's about let's share and let's work together to make things better for each other.
Yeah, I love that. And it is that sharing, and it is the fact that you might be the only person who does your role within your organization. So you might not have anybody to talk to, or you may think that if I ask one of my peers or somebody who does a different role or my boss, I don't want to be seen that I don't know the answer, or I don't have the resolution for this, or I might asking a silly question. The community itself, I think, offers that safe space, like you mentioned, that you can connect with somebody else. And I hear quite often that we get told that some of our events are a little bit like therapy, where you can come along and you can talk and say, I'm going to ask this question, I'm just going to put it out there, and they'll go, oh, fantastic, I'm not alone. Someone else feels that, or they're going through that as well, which is amazing to hear, which I absolutely love to hear, because it is that safe space, and that's what we are so keen to create and make sure that it's that kind of value for the community who join us. So thank you for that. And I suppose I reflect back to one of the dinners that you joined us for, and you were talking about some of the things that you'd taken away. You'd been to different events, you'd seen different research papers, and you've made changes on the back of that. So it did give you the answers, and for me it's great to hear that it's useful, and that investment in your time to join such events and take part and read our research and good practice guides supports you and your team.
Yes, no, definitely. It's worth it. Every penny of the membership is worth it.
It is, it really is. And you know, I was a member for many years prior to joining, and I didn't tap into all of them, and I wish I had done, because for me, I see the value from that the other side now. And a lot of our events, we listen to our community. We've just done our member survey, so we've asked for feedback. We're asking for what the top priorities are for 2023 to make sure that that can fit in line with what we're looking to support the community with. So it is really important to us to listen, as well as to make sure we're producing the right level of information out there. So absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Sabina. And I suppose one question for me is that, how do you keep up to date with, there's so much going on, and I'm conscious you've got your own role, which is so busy, you're going through so much change within your own organization. So how do you keep up to date with events and research, and to support your team with that, to let them know what's going on?
So what I have, I put aside in my calendar a focus time, because like you said, you know, we're extremely busy, and that focus time, I use it to actually go on the website. And then from there, I just go through, right, what's out there, what's happening new. And then as well, the newsletters, which I've signed up for as well. So I get that. So that allows me to keep myself abreast with what's going on, because like you said, we've got, our diaries are forever full. So I have to put in that focus time and say, right, on this day, no meetings. It's about research. It's about, you know, helping myself to develop what's out there. And your site, your website's one of them for me.
I love that. I love that, that focus time. And that's something that's really difficult to do in that ever busy environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that focus time to support you within your role, to also support your people, because you can pass that on to them as well, is
Yes.
is wonderful. No, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sabina. And I suppose if anyone has any questions that they want to pose into myself or Sabina, happily answer any questions which you have. You know, we are, as a community, looking to always change and evolve. And if I look back at how the awards have grown over the years, I remember entering the awards many years ago, and it's really nerve-wracking, and seeing that how much the process that you go through, and that the judging criteria, it is quite tough. The competition is tough out there. But when you get to that awards night and you are celebrating that success, because we talk about how busy everybody is, there's lots of priorities. We're trying to change and evolve, and to grow within the industry moving forward. But actually celebrating success for our industry. We always hear about customer service, and whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, or how it's evolving. Sometimes we need to celebrate that success, and the award is an amazing opportunity for us to be able to celebrate that, showcase what makes the people community in this community, and also the great work that as organizations that we are doing to celebrate that success. And those of you may not be aware that for the UK National Contact Centre Awards, as being a member, you can enter into as many categories as you wish as part of your membership. So it's an absolutely fantastic benefit from that. And in effect, membership can pay for itself, as what you can easily determine. So looking at that, and looking at how you can celebrate success, how you can learn, how you can support your wider teams, supporting talent development, supporting those key challenges, whether it be attrition, recruitment, technology, what's doing the right thing by our people from a quality perspective to enhance the quality, make sure they're confident, or the complaints handling processes. Within all of our events, we cover all of those kind of topics to support the industry, support the leaders within that. So it's, for me, it adds great value. But it does take the time to dedicate the time to be able to read the research, take part in some of the events, go to look at the best practice sites, go and see those award-winning sites, and go and take it all in. So there's so much you can gain out of it, but it does take that investment in your time to be able to do that. So that focus time that you've just talked about, Sabina, it is so key, isn't it, when we focus on that. But we are always looking to grow the membership, and what's really important from our perspective is that we have diverse contact centres from across the UK. The importance of that is really to make sure that our interactions that we are having as part of those are really relative, and that we can get diverse views across all of our events. So I've had a question come in. Can we talk about academy training? How many sessions could we book as part of our membership? Is there an option for bespoke sessions to be created? So as part of the membership, so your membership will enable you to have discounted training. Non-members can use the academy, but they will be charged full price to be able to do that. So you get quite a good discount for those courses. All courses are available as open courses. We have 34 courses available today, which are available through the website. If you want any further information, for example, whether that is you've got particular learning needs and unsure which course will maybe hit the nail on the head for you to deliver the right outcome, the right experience for your people, please get in touch and we'll happily have a diagnostic call with you to chat through some of those and really talk about what's the end goal, so we can make sure we can try and support you to achieve that in the best way possible. But all courses are available as open courses. They're also available as in-house courses. So whether that will be virtually or in-house, so having the same course, but either you fill that group with a team of 12 people, we can do that online, or we can have wider groups, and we can our trainer will happily come on site to be able to do that, which we could quote you for. And all courses are also available to have as bespoke sessions, meaning that we could also use the core construct of that training course and do a diagnostic call to make sure that's relevant and the scenarios really pull on your interactions that you have to make sure that you get the most out of that. So in short answer, absolutely. We can adapt it as necessary, depends on your needs. We have just launched the bundles, which you'll see through the website. The bundles mean that take you on a learning journey where it's booking 3 courses as part of that journey. And that bundle will offer that individual a discount per course. What we've also launched, which is absolutely completely fresh, fresh news, is that we've also launched training credits. The reason why we have bought training credits and launched them to life is that we understand that sometimes to seek budget for your learning and development needs for your people can sometimes be a little bit timely, and sometimes you may have a budget that you want to spend, but you're not exactly sure of the learning needs. So what the training credits actually mean is that you can get your training credits, which will sit on your account for you, and then you can then use that and book the courses that are available through the website, and you just book it through the website or contact us and we will happily support you to be able to do that. That means then if you see a course, you may have been out of the business or may have been really busy and spot a course that's happening next week and you think it's going to be brilliant for one of your people to go onto that, or yourself, you want to go onto that, you've got the training credit in place, you can use that training credit to be able to use that and to be able to book yourselves onto it. So again, a great opportunity to be able to just use your just to fulfill your learning needs more effectively. So hopefully that answers your question to that came in. Any further questions that come in, please get in touch. Happily answer any questions that you may have, or if you would like an individual engagement conversation, we will happily also do that, whether you are a member or non-member. We want to talk about, we are so passionate about supporting the industry in the various forms, so please get in touch. We'll happily dedicate some time to be able to support you and your teams, because membership might not be for everybody. It might not be that you are in a position that you're going to be able to maximise the benefits. It might not be that it might not hit the nail on the head for you quite yet because of your organisation. However, it might be that there'll be great support there as well in different forms. I've had another question come in, which is about special interest groups, which I'll just answer. So we're interested in special interest groups. Can we provide more information on these, please? Absolutely. So we have industry-led special interest groups. So we have travel and leisure, public sector, general insurance, financial services, retail, plus many more. We also have generic special interest groups as well. We have the people agenda, technology, complaints, quality, and our inclusion and diversity special interest group, which is launched today. The generic special interest groups are there to be able to support across industry. So where Sabina was chatting before about how she can get different leaders within her teams to be able to tap into that, whether that is your complaints leader, so your person who's responsible for leading your complaints department. The complaints team, the complaint special interest group will give you an opportunity to come and connect with others. And whether we're talking about root cause analysis, tracking complaints, how to articulate complaints or respond to complaints in a written manner, which actually may make a little bit more sense. If we work in very heavily regulated environments, sometimes we get tied up in knots that we've got to cover everything to the finer detail because the regulator said so. Some of our special interest groups breaks that down of actually what does the regulator mean by that, or how to articulate to the customer in a fair and timely manner that makes sense and resolves their complaint in a personal way. Our quality special interest group, we've recently talked about calibrations and how to coach and give feedback effectively. So you've handled the interaction and the quality from the quality measure assessment, which has been completed. And what do you do with that? How do you coach that back? How do you give feedback effectively that's actually going to drive a positive change? And the calibration session was all around, okay, so how do you make sure we're consistent? How do you calibrate? How do you make sure that actually that it's fair? And how do you drive that to drive improvements of your quality going forward? Technology, we've got our technology special interest group taking place tomorrow. We're going to talk about all about automation and AI in the contact center. We're also going to talk about future sessions talking about cyber attacks. How does that impact our business? We've talked around changing a CRM. What does that mean? What's that journey look like? We've also talked about the tech stack for the contact center. What does it actually mean? When you're changing your tech stack, who do you need to get involved as part of that journey? Who are the important stakeholders around your contact center who's going to help that? For example, getting your frontline colleagues involved. They know your friction points of what doesn't work within your system. They can tell you what would make their life easier if you had a system which worked probably a little bit more effectively. So they will help you to solve those problems. So those are the types of conversations that we have as part of those special interest groups. Our next people agenda is taking place next week. It's taking place next Thursday. And that one we're going to talk all around. We're being joined by one of our members, and they're changing their approach around employee engagement. And employee engagement, because their mindset is, you've done the employee engagement survey, you've done the pulse survey, but what next? What does that mean? What is the next action? We're going to respond to what our employees are saying. Well, what are the tangible actions on the back of that? How can we get more about that? How can we think differently to those outputs? So it's and how can we drive an increased and better employee experience? Because talent development, we want to invest in the talent within our own organisations to really tackle some of those absence and attrition challenges that organisations may be facing. So how do we grow that talent within our own organisations? We want employees to be engaged, we want to be proud of the brand that they work for, and because they ultimately delight our customers, they look after our customers, and they what make our business continue to grow for the future. So these are the kind of topics that we tackle, Ella. So hopefully that answers your question for you. But if there's any further questions that anyone may have, please send them in. Thank you, Ella. Hope that helped. But if you need any further information, please get in touch. And on that note, it's been absolutely wonderful to share with you and talk about something that's really close to my heart, is supporting the industry. Someone who's worked in the industry for many years. It's great to see how the industry has evolved, and how we continue to be passionate and thrive and want to celebrate the success of this industry. And I feel that this membership community really does that by bringing like-minded people who want to do the right thing, who may have fell into their role many moons ago and thought they would never build a career working within the contact centre. But here we are 20 odd years later, who are still passionate about it and actually really enjoy it. It's great that we can share that success and continue to support the industry. But again, any further questions, or if you like any further information, please get in touch. Sabina, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your experience and why and how you connect into the community. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. I know the internet's not been great here and there, but I really appreciate you being able to support us today and to be able to have this conversation with me live for the audience so they can see it from your perspective also.
No problem. Thank you so much. And I hope we do have more people joining, because in this day and age, it is definitely.
Thank you so much, Sabina. Thank you all. Take care. Have a great day.